No buy this shit over here. This is what the podcast.
Yeah. Episode 11.
12.
What the podcast?
1-1. 12?
We're back again.
This is 12.
No, you
okay.
cool.
1, 2.
Delays got us all fucked up. Yeah. We're back. Episode 11. Lexile, of course, is in the place.
Yo. Episode 12.
Yeah. We back. Episode 11. Lexile, of course, is in the place.
Yo. Episode 12.
And yeah. How you been, bro?
Shit, I've been good, man. It's working. Same old shit, but you know what I'm saying?
Word.
Here again. Some special guests. Very special guests. You guys would like to introduce
Absolutely.
yourselves?
Yo, it's Kais.
Yeah, you go first.
You know,
Yeah. Kaiser Unique is in the place.
Sure.
Yeah.
And his right-hand man, partner in crime, Super Jack, is also in the place.
Yeah.
Actual.
Yeah.
Factual. Wacko mastermind. So true.
Oh,
Word.
damn. Forgot about that. That's a deep cut.
What's up, though, guys?
Yeah,
What y'all been
so-
up to, man? Kaz, how you been?
Well, you know, shit, nigga dropped the tape. Been chilling ever since.
Yeah.
What's up?
Truly.
Truly yours.
Yours truly.
Truly yours. Truly yours. Truly yours.
Yeah, surely.
We're gonna be discussing that more in more intricate detail, if you will, in a second. We also got
Word.
my guy Super Jack here. How you been, man? What you been up to?
I've been good. I've been doing a lot of shows. Some of them with Kaiser, some of them without. Yeah, I'm not making this about me. This is about Kaiser. That's it. I'm good. I'm good.
Hey, man.
Respect.
Yeah, so, like, the tape came out, like, was it, like, a week or so at this point? A little over a week and a half ago?
Something like that.
I was up listening to that shit as soon as it dropped
Swear.
Yeah.
and shit.
Yeah. It
The
was like March
fucking
8th.
production, like,
It's been like 2 weeks, right?
the
Yeah, something like that.
yeah,
2 weeks.
shit like that.
It's been some time.
Yeah.
It's been some time.
Yeah.
And, like, the first immediate thing that jumped out to me, like, holy shit, the production soared.
It's 11 joints on
Up.
there, just
Sure.
straight bangers.
Sure.
So we got
Yeah.
production from Face Dog,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Inspector.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Got some
Yep.
production from Jack as well, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I
yeah.
did the Protect beat. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And was there anyone else I was missing?
Nah, that's just it. The rest is me.
I'm pretty sure that's it.
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
And-
Tell them
and
about
Kaz.
it.
The Loopsmith.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we got
But yes.
11. You got 11 joints on there. It's a good 30 minutes. You know what I mean? I feel like it's a very immersive
That's a
project. I love it so far. Like
Yeah.
it's still pretty fresh. It's still recent, so I still have more you know what I mean, interpretation to do. But just from the times
Right.
that I've ran through it so far, it's the best 30 minutes I think you could get on streaming right now. You know what I mean? Like
the
it's,
replay
and
value
I'm not
on it
being
is
biased.
crazy.
Yeah, no, because
I think it helps because
exactly.
like you kind of like, I don't know if you meant to, but you took, Jizz's advice when he said make it brief, son.
Sure.
Half short and twice strong.
Right. Yeah, no.
Because like you can focus a little bit more on like the quality, so it ends up, a lot of people, they'll make long ass shit albums because it, get in an attempt to get more plays, but 9 times out of 10, like especially if you stuff an album full of filler, like people aren't gonna come back to that shit over and over.
Yeah. No, I
what I mean?
wanted it to be something that you could like play and like actually sit through the whole thing and not get bored. And since we knew we were putting a lot of songs that were like different tones together, like me and Jack were really like trying to emphasize the sequencing part of it so that it flows as much as possible. And it's like, instead of it like being an hour of just like crazy whiplash or something like that, it's just like 30 minutes of like, all right, let's just kind of hit on all of the bases. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we spent a good
Word.
like 3, maybe even 4 hours, like just like adding transitions, and like we like kind of went a little too hard. We could have just like done it as is, but we were trying to one up it like as it kept going. We're like, that transition's good, but we can do it
Right.
better. Like,
Right.
And that speaks, and
That's
that
another thing.
right there speaks volumes.
Yeah.
Just the work itself really speaks to that. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a
That's
project.
some shit that I noticed too. Cause
Yeah.
my fault. Go ahead.
So like, this project is one that it was in good hands. You know what I mean? It's just off the first few seconds of the album. You know what I mean? You got it.
Yeah.
It's still so fresh.
Intro.
Like,
Great intro.
I
Funny
want
intro.
the people
Oh,
have
yeah.
to listen to this shit themselves, but like I'm gonna keep it somewhat like general, you know what I mean, or vague, so to say. But like I don't know, like instantly it kind of just grabs your attention, you know what I mean? Just the dialogue, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
did the hoes ever show up? I'm sure they did now that the album's out. Like, I'm sure they're there now.
You know, well, I took my queen. I don't know if my queen qualifies as a hoe. I feel like she would tell me she does not qualify as that. So, but she
let 'em know.
showed up for the
Let 'em
showed
know.
up for the live show. So, I'll count it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll count
Yeah.
out the
Shout
spirit. The spirit.
Fuck the hoes. Fuck
You
the
know what
hoes,
I'm saying?
man. Fuck the hoes.
All right. So,
Yeah.
Nah, shout out her for that. That's real.
Word.
Yeah, that intro was all Kaiser's idea. I was like, do we need an intro? Because, like, Thick Hypnotized starts on the record scratch sound. But he was like, nah, have this intro, and it works well. Very well. Very, very well.
Yeah, that shit
Yeah.
is. I loved it. I appreciate the shout out too. You know what I mean?
Shout out. Yeah.
I was like, I had this thought. Like I was telling you the other day, I'm like, yo, I had the thought. I'm just like, imagine you did like shout outs right now, and they did shout outs right now. I'm like, oh shit.
Right.
And he said my name. I'm like, oh shit.
yeah.
I know that guy.
Had to.
Yeah, it was dope though, and I appreciate that, man. That was dope.
Nah, word. Had to.
Word.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And also made, I don't remember, I'd have to go back and look at the track listing, but I did make the album in terms of like the little cuts and shit I did on Mammoth as well, but that's a little later in the track.
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah,
That's
you-
true.
yeah,
that's
you're on the
true.
record,
Shout out
Nev. Yeah.
Shout out Nev.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That was who was that on production?
Based
On
on
Mammoth. That was Face, right? Yeah.
Face. I was originally going to use that beat way back in the day when I used to do the rippity rap and stuff.
Word.
That's a good beat.
Skibbity bibbity NevEd type beat.
Yeah,
At least from the feedback I've heard on the album, Mammoth is a lot of people's one of their favorites, like top 2, top 3.
Yeah. Nah, it's probably one of my favorites right now too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not to say that was surprising. Like, that was really one of the beats that I heard it, and I was like, this is a record cut. Like, there's just no way this doesn't end up on something. And it was also probably one of the fastest songs that I wrote on there too. Like,
Yeah,
Like,
I remember you was a little. Yeah, you go. My bad.
no, you go.
I remember you was a little unsure about if it was even going to fit on the record, and I was like, "Nah, we got to make this one fit." Like this one.
Well, it's
this
like
one's getting on there.
It's
Force it
like
in.
it was
Yeah.
a situation where I just pictured it going a certain way, whereas I always pictured that song as an opener for something. So it was like I didn't want to potentially
because the way the beat fades in.
right,
and shit
exactly. The fade in is just so like dramatic, and it's like I didn't want it to be a situation where I just kind of throw it in the middle, and that shit doesn't make sense. Where it could have been like this great album opener, especially if I was gonna make an album that was like gonna be that same subject matter the whole time, you know. But when we did the sequencing on it, it just kind of made sense as like going in the middle and then it being like followed up like with the whole like with the whole Nana Pazant going into each other, you know.
Yeah, and then it goes into If It's Just Me.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
so it ended up working once we started doing the sequencing together. But I always knew I wanted to put it on a record. Like it's a hard beat.
Yeah,
Word.
I could see that being the intro for sure. Shit, maybe the listeners can listen to this and find their own different order to listen to it. Too,
So,
after they
hey,
listen to it.
hey, I won't be mad at it.
Resequence the shit.
I wouldn't be
We
mad at it.
went
you know
through
what I'm saying?
like had to be like a high single digit number of sequences for this record. Like
It had to be at least like 5, 6.
yeah.
Depending on how you want to look at it, maybe even 7. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there was a
Yeah.
version of the record where Peaches and Cream happens before Protect, and then it goes into Protect.
Yeah.
Right.
And I still think
Yeah,
about that a
that
lot.
did
I still think about how that would have worked perfectly too. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, that would have worked really well.
Peaches and Cream. That's that's one of my favorites in my opinion. Like
I appreciate that.
I just think off the first few seconds, just the you just hear it. It starts to come in. And it's like it starts to kind of set on you. It's kind of like it's kind of like anesthesia almost. You know what I mean? Like it feels like very like yo,
man.
you're gonna relax right now. You're gonna chill out. You know what I mean? Like
you're gonna take this.
Some heavy indica shit.
He said, "Gonna sit back, don't play with the kid."
Yeah.
And then,
but it's like super relaxed vibe. I just everything on it is amazing. The singing on it.
shout out Jack.
Thank you, bro.
How it starts to build up even more and shit, and then there's that. It's kind of like frantic in a way almost. You know what I mean? After
Oh yeah,
I don't even know how to describe that sequence.
where the sample chops start to happen in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Because that beginning half of the record and the verse sections are all just the loops, but it's like there's some parts in the like to transition in between it where it's like that's a lot of like different chops happening. So you know it changes the pace. Like the whole beat kind of switches BPM for those parts, and you know I feel like we might have talked about this when it first like the single came out for it. But it's like when we were originally writing to it, like I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do for those parts because the BPM just switches there. You know what I'm saying? Like I just didn't know how easy it was gonna be to rap on that, and like whether I'd have to like take a breath or some shit. But I just rapped on it. That shit worked out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it ended up working out. It sounds pretty natural.
Yeah, the ending too. It flows so smoothly into the ending part. If I could rest like I ain't gonna sing it because you know that's what you do. But that shit was beautiful, bro. That's definitely a highlight of the album for me. Like
that was like Kaiser was like channeling what he wanted through me. Like that was very much like a sort of exorcism moment. Like he was sitting in the studio like a producer and he was like, you're gonna do this, and I was like, okay.
Yeah,
That's kind of I've always thought about shit like that, like when you know people that usually like that are famous for ghostwriters, like you know, like Dre and shit like that, like especially with like the super personal shit, like the message. The message was written by Royce, and it was about like somebody that Royce knew. And then Dre made it to him, but like, when you have to literally put yourself in like another person's like mindset, sometimes on a very complex level to write like lyrics, or like channel them in a certain way that they can't. You know what I mean? Like, that shit is a trip to me.
that's a gift right there to be able to kind of have the intuition to tell one of your peers like, yo, I think you're really good at this. This year strong suit. This year wheelhouse in a way. Let me give you this input, but also being able to receive that input and help them. You know what I mean? Kind of harness that vision they have and really put it down onto the track. I feel like that's the very slept on part of this process and shit, especially when you're making music with your friends and shit, or your peers, whatever the case may be. I feel like that shit is definitely dope. When it comes together and sounds like this.
Right.
Are you kidding me? This shit is amazing, bro. That makes it one of my favorite tracks instantly.
Yeah, no, definitely just
I was gonna say too about.
No, I was gonna say definitely a situation where it was just like, you know, like finishing each other's sentences type shit. Where it's like, I want to say you came up with that first part, Jack, on your own. I don't really remember the order that took place.
It was
like,
something along the lines of. Yeah, it was something along the lines of you gave me the first part and then I did the second part, or vice versa.
So I want to say you did the first part. I don't remember what order you did it in, but you did that intro part. And it's like for that second. Or you know what? I think I know what happened. Probably was that you know that second part happened first, and then you added the first part afterwards. So you know you're like, oh, I don't like you were trying to figure out what to do there. Yeah, like the intro. Like I want to say that we actually did the outro first.
That's not what happened. That's not what happened. What happened was you had that beat, and that was always one of my favorite beats of yours. And we were like debating making a tape together, and then we ended up putting the best ones on your record because you know I thought they had a better home there. But I wrote that thing I did at the intro, expecting that to be a hook and expecting us to do more trade-offs, but like you kind of just went off. So then it came to the end, and I was like, what do I do? Like, I got to do something to follow it. and then you were like, you should sing over the sample, and then either I
Right,
came
right.
up with the line or you came up with the line, and then it just kind of happened from there.
I came up with the first line, and then you finished the rest. Like I like that first if I could rest today, that was like me humming to myself, and then you like the rest of the words was you.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds like, and that's good stuff. Like I love when that happens when I'm writing with somebody like you or Zaire, or like, you know, when you just like one thing and it's like that's it, like that's
Right.
where it is.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I think you guys definitely meshed wonderfully on this project, but especially that song. I just want to thank you guys for making that song, because that shit is that song alone has endless replay value. But the project itself, that's such an integral piece to that project. And I think you guys did really well on that shit,
Yeah,
man.
most def.
That's some
Thank
shit
you,
to be
man.
proud of, man. Like it's not always that you have two artists that are as talented as yourselves, but also have that I don't even know how to say it, but
What,
just
like chemistry?
being able,
Chemistry.
yeah,
Chemistry.
chemistry, but also just having the thought. You know what I mean? Because that's a
Yeah,
big part of
yeah.
it. Being able to is one thing, but having the thought to kind of spark those type of ideas and get them going, that's another thing.
Chemistry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
As,
Word,
you know,
word.
like
Word, though.
with records, like sometimes it's about the little things, like figuring out how to mix a pause or fill a space. And like, you know, I'm gonna give a shout out to you, Nev, real quick, because like we were making Mammoths, and you know it needed something, and I was like turntables, and then I basically coordinated it with you, Nev, to like get some scratches on there, and then you added a second scratch,
Yeah.
and then Kaiser added that sample for the transition at the beginning, and it's like those little things can just make a track. You know what I mean? Like it just amplifies
Right.
it.
Right.
Yeah, I remember when you said that. I remember when you said that to me, and I completely like understood like what you were looking for and stuff like that. So I knew like another thing is like sound selection, especially with like cuts, like with that beat and that song. I didn't want to like distract people from the tone of the song, so that's why I picked like a really like a very like a softer sort of sound. Like it's really just like some static
Right,
noise
right.
that I had on a record somewhere.
Yeah, it's hard. It's
You
hard
know.
as hell.
It directs your attention back to the words of anything. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not so busy that it's like it becomes the focus. It's like you're cueing my voice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super cool. It's so cool.
I feel like
Word. Yeah, that was
from my
fire.
experience working on certain projects, there are certain songs that kind of when they're made, and they don't have to really be in a finished state, but just having like a demo of certain songs kind of like sets off a whole new like momentum for the project as a whole, to, you know what I mean, kind of such a trajectory for it, because you start to listen to this one song you have for it and you're like, oh, this is great, and you kind of follow that pace of that song in a way where it's like, yo, all right, we're moving with this energy, what else can we do for this project?
Right.
You know,
right.
coming off the back of this, how was there a song like that for this project where there was kind of like your foundation in a way, or your footing, where you gained your footing to move forward with this project?
I mean, it's hard to say, because like honestly, it all of it was very much fragments up in my head to the very last piece, where it's like every time I made a different song, I was kind of in a different headspace for each of them, and it wasn't really until we put it together that it's like I started to see the connections, where I'm like, oh, okay, it's like this. Like I really, when I was making a lot of the songs on the album, you know, I was already kind of like moving towards more of like the goofy sound, so like the peaches and cream kind of stuff. And I was expecting when we was putting it all together that it was gonna feel like maybe a little bit of too much of that, you know, when we first put the tape together. Because I'm like, you got Thicknetize and you got Peaches and Cream, and both of those songs are kind of like in very similar veins. But it's like once you hit that middle point of the record, you know, once we put Nana Pazant and Mammoths together, you know, it really doesn't quite come back out of that tone. Same with Cling to Me. It kind of keeps playing into into that tone. So I don't know which one I would say was like the linchpin in particular, but I feel like, you know, there were certain songs that were like middle ground. So once we finally figured out Protect, I was like, oh, I can see this like working as a tape a little bit more. You know, I don't know what it was about Protect
Really?
in particular. It might have just been the fact that I could see it going so many places and all of that, and all of it made sense to me. But it's like once we had Protect, I'm like, okay, this is the deep cut of the record. Like I don't know where it's gonna end up on the tape, but this is the one that makes it like this is the song you could come here for. That isn't the single. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm honored that you
Right.
think my
That's-
beat is the one that's like your linchpin. That's wow.
Yeah. Nah, definitely. I don't know what it is in particular about that one, but like I was like, yeah, this feels like the album cut for real. Like not the single, not the like something that just happened to be made. Like this feels like it had intention in it, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
From the outside looking in, because obviously I'm not you, and I'm just like here to like clean up the pieces a little bit and add where I can add. When you started making, like, to emphasize, like, this has been 4 years, like, on and off. When you first made Thicknetized, I knew that, like, you were going somewhere. And then for me, when you made Maria, that's when I was kind of like, okay, like, there is an album, like, within all this.
Yeah. I would say that was probably a linchpin for me too as well. I didn't know where Maria was gonna end up necessarily, but I don't know. I just kind of really knew. Like that one spoke to me because I felt like it was one of the first real emotional cuts that I did. Like I had kind of already done some songs like that before, but I felt like that one in particular was the one that like spoke to me a little bit more over some of the other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, that's another thing about this project that makes it what it is, the range. The range of emotions. I mean, you have shit like Thicknetized, like you said, and Peaches and Cream was kind of more in that. I don't want to say frivolous, but you know what I mean. It's more just easy going.
Carefree.
You know what I mean. And then you have shit like Nana Present, Mammoth. You know what I mean. Maria, where it's like, obviously you have your wit and you have like your quirks in your rapping and shit. I don't know if quirks is the right
Cunning
word,
linguistics.
but you always inherently have that kind of sense of humor. You know what I mean? Even if you're not trying to be funny, it's just your kind of like your outlook on certain things or how you might interpret it and relay it to us. But Nana Present, for example, like that, I'd say that's my favorite song on this project.
Word.
Because to start it off, like I love that beat already before. You know what I mean? Shout out to Inspector. Like that shit is just it's a masterpiece on this song. But that was a beat I always loved and shit, and I feel like I'm a little. It kind of sways me a little more just because I've always loved that beat. But then I heard what you did on it. I wasn't expecting it. I didn't know that was gonna be on the project. So I heard that shit for the first time. I'm like, it sounds like super like familiar. Like I know I've heard this beat. I'm like, wait, is this Inspector?
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, but I'm listening to the car shit, and I'm like, oh, he's rapping on it.
Right.
And then the shit was fire. I'm like, oh shit. This is what we doing.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it didn't disappoint at all. It was just, you had a bar on there and you said something to the effect of you want me to love you, I can't even love me.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite bars on the whole project because
Word.
I felt that. Like
I remember that one
shit,
sticking out to me as well.
That shit was real. Like where were you, like if you could kind of describe it, like where were you when you was making that song, like in terms of your headspace, like what was going on, like?
So yeah, dude, with Nana Present, the reason it has that title is because I was in one of my film classes while I was like, and then I like basically wrote the song somewhat after I had just left the class. And we were watching this film called Daughters of the Dust, and it's like, I want to say the Igbo people. It's like a film where, these African people who are living on like this island you kind of just seeing them going about their lives and dealing with the aftermaths of colonization and sort of things like that. And one of the characters is named Nana Present. So really it's Nana Present with like, it should be Nana space Present, but then Jack spelled it like as one word. And I was like, I just didn't correct him because I just thought it looked cool. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, it does. I was curious about that too.
Right. So Nana Pazant, plant flowers in a trance, oil and wicker lamps, that's stuff that the character was doing in the film. Like it was like part of the tradition to have these haint blue glass bottles on the tree to ward away the bad spirits. So really what I'm doing on that song is like I'm kind of going back and forth between dealing with like slavery as if it was like a present day problem, and then also like dealing with like the post-traumatic like stress that comes with it over like generations of time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm going back and forth between like what I'm talking about when I'm like when I'm talking about the limbs blow, do the Jim Crow, let the limbs blow, shoulda let the Tim show. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then when I get to that last part of the verse where, I can't love you, can't even love me. I'm talking about like, when you are put through all of these traumatic things, that trauma carries over for generations. That doesn't just go away because you didn't directly experience slavery. You know what I'm saying? If your grandparents,
that has to go somewhere.
Right, exactly. If your grandparents experienced trauma, they have certain behaviors, and they taught that to you, whether that was unwilling, like willingly or unwillingly. You know what I'm saying? And some of that continues just by virtue of the systems in place haven't really altered. So it's like it really kind of just makes you think. What does that do to like the family structure when you have people being split apart and forced away from each other when they're enslaved? And that's really where this line of like this whole idea that the host sells them just to toast you, drink it on their make your dreams a sham, then they're drinking on their paid, vamping the enslaved even when they aren't chained. Like I'm like, even the massa in the eyes, like this just my fam, it can go either way. Taking them away won't change a damn thing. You're putting up a front. Obviously your family being split up is going to affect you in ways you never could even imagine. You know what I'm saying? But it's like you're learning to be unemotional to deal with the situations that are going on outside of you.
Yeah, damn.
That's some fucking deep shit.
Yeah, because that was one of those tracks where I'm just like, it's just like so many moving parts, like it's a lot to take in. It's one I'm still having to re-listen to and just kind of piece all these pieces together, because this even if you tell me a lot about these songs, there's still stuff I like I'm gonna have to put together, because
he's ill with the references, bro. Like you're dope with like that's one of your strong points. Like you really be finding dope ways to take like certain pieces of media and incorporated it into your own shit.
And to add on to that, like
all the references for real. My bad, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Exactly, and he really studies this shit too, though. Like, there's been times where we like, bro, me and Kaz just be researching shit, just like random shit. It could be like etymology of like the days of the week, fucking chevrotines and like all this whatnot. Like, but like I see all this shit that like I see bro studying. It goes somewhere. It's not just what I mean. Like, oh this is fun. Like, I mean that could be part of it, but like I really see someone that's eager to learn things but also to apply that knowledge, you know what I mean?
Right.
So
right.
I feel like
no doubt
that's definitely a dope quality, you know what I mean, that I could say that pertains to you.
Right. No, I mean I think,
and that shit shows through the music.
Right, exactly. I think I think the same thing kind of happened with Mammoth too. Mammoth is entirely just because I watched Sorry to Bother You. You know what I'm saying? Like I literally watched Sorry to Bother You, and then I wrote Mammoth immediately afterwards. But, obviously there's like some obvious shit with like the workhorse references, but it's like so much of that song is like, it's just direct quotes. Like even the title of the track, Mammoth, we hunt mammoths, douse champs in champagne. That's a quote from the movie. You know what I'm saying? When I'm like, I'm like, wait an hour on the block, swear that cash is coming. I'm talking about money, you know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about like the main character, Cassius, who left his girlfriend on the block while she's, forced to do this advertising bullshit, spinning signs or whatever. and he left her on the block, left her out there for an hour, didn't come back to get her. So you know what I'm saying? So it's like there's like basic sort of things where it's like, you know, I'm just kind of referencing some of the themes, but a lot of that is like direct dialogue or like direct moments that I'm like transferring into rhyme form.
Yeah, or like ideas that I kind of, you know what I mean? Just like concepts too. I feel like it's like so much that you put into these lyrics where it's like, had you not explained it to me prior, like, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things where it's like, damn, I know these listeners out here, like, they really not, they gotta really listen and really read what's being said, because it's not so 1 + 1 = 2. You know what I mean? It's just not so obvious. I feel like that's one thing I could really appreciate about your work is just the attention to detail, the effort, you know, the willingness to always explain what it is that is being said. I don't know. It just all culminates into a dope experience for the listener, in my opinion. You don't even have to be someone that really necessarily enjoys this type of shit primarily to really get some enjoyment out of this, I feel like, because you also have a dope live show, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
and
like, I mean, you know, to chime in on that, like,
absolutely.
Like Kaiser be playing with a lot of rock bands, and like it's not like he's sticking out. Like he fits. Like this album has a lot of appeal to it. Anyway,
exactly. That's a really good point. Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, I've seen it firsthand. Like that is very true. It doesn't feel out of place. If you like music, if you like sounds, if you just like feeling something, you know what I mean? Like just feeling the feeling. You know, I really don't see why you wouldn't enjoy it. You know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, shit, when I was at that show, too, the one South was referring to, like, yeah, everybody seemed like, all the performers, like, it made sense. Like, no one really, you know, no one seemed out of place at all. So, like,
yeah, we need more,
you know, y'all really.
And it was Unity Fest, you know, it's funny, but we need more, like, unity between, like, all the different sounds.
Absolutely.
And whatnot.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But, I mean, I feel like artists such as yourselves like really contribute to that unity, that just it's just music at the end of the day. All of this is music, you know, we're all people, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I feel like people like y'all really do that, you know what I mean? So obviously there still needs to be more work put in on everybody end, but you know what I mean, you guys are doing a great deal to bring people together through sound and shit, and really just experience shit together, man. That's such a slept on thing, you know, like
Right.
Everyone likes what's good for them, but what's good for us, you know what I mean? Like,
word.
You know, shit like that. So I could really appreciate what y'all doing right now, man. I see it firsthand. Even if y'all wasn't, you know, the fam, like, I could clearly see what y'all doing right now. This is good. You know what I mean? This is good for the culture. This is good for the music. This is good for people.
Word.
For the culture.
For the culture. I mean, I think there's this tendency to be like, okay, if you're really deep in your genre, that it's like you can't interact with anything else. But it's like, what is hip hop if not just a collaboration of other genres? You know what I'm saying? When I take a sample and I put that on loop, nobody intended that to be hip hop. That was a soul song. That was a rock song. That was a jazz song. That was whatever. You know what I'm saying? Nobody intended that to be hip hop. But, you know, I just put it through my lens and now it's hip hop. You know, and it's like, it's the same sort of philosophy when you're doing the performances. It's like, yeah, you like when you walk in, like, I hope niggas know I'm hip hop. You know, that's how I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about it. But at the same time, you know, hip hop isn't that far from, you know, at least culturally, from like a punk. It's just the same thing being viewed from a different lens. So
same attitude.
Right.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's a really good
Same
point
spirit.
too, because I feel like people don't really see the parallels between, you know, other genres and hip hop. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, to add on to what you were saying before, a lot of hip hop is a rock drum break, a jazz, you know, melody or something, and then someone delivering rhymes on it. You know, a lot of the times that's not all it is. I'm not trying to oversimplify it, you know, or generalize, but there's definitely a lot of records that, you know, that description will be accurate. Right. But also, like, I just feel like the attitude of punk and the attitude of hip hop, there's a mesh. You know, there's there's a crossing point between those two, you know, styles and
Directly
shit.
too, especially with like, you know, groups that would come like 10 years after hip hop was like the inception of hip hop, like the Beastie Boys and shit like that. They were
Yeah,
like, because they were
exactly.
actually
Even as far back as
a
the
punk
Roots.
band first.
Like yeah, like
And then
Yeah.
later on, like Rage and shit.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like a lot of
So it's
those like
just-
early punk groups in New York were like fraternizing with a lot of those early New York hip hop groups, like, you know, and the audiences were not always
Right.
receptive, but like the groups were receptive. The audiences had to catch up.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I can't recall, but I'm pretty sure that one of the, I think it was the bassist of the Talking Heads did the bass lines on the Wild Style movie soundtrack.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's
Oh,
cool.
word.
That's cool. Well, no, that
Yeah.
Tom Tom Club
Something
beat
like that.
was
I don't
the
remember if it
Talking
was
Heads,
the
like, that's,
drummer or
like,
the
one of
bassist.
the hip hop samples. That's one right there. Like,
Oh yeah, you ain't never lied. Tom Tom Club, goddamn. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a classic.
yeah.
So, goddamn. Yeah.
I'm gonna join Gang Green.
Oh shit, I can't do that for more than 5 seconds. We might get
Right, he
might
said,
get violated
like,
by the
Free Max B.
FCA.
Oh man.
The FCC won't let me be.
Nah.
It's a bar right there.
Man.
But
So the FC. You know.
so another question I have is like,
Mhm.
now that this is out, you know, as a whole, and the people are now getting able. Let me. I'm not talking right. Now that you drop this project and shit, and the people have it, able to listen to it, you know, give their reception. How do you like? Where are you at now in terms of just your mental, just in general? Like, where you at now that it's released and shit, and you just have time to see people receive it?
Word. I mean, from the reaction that I have, you know, got it from like speaking to people. You know what I'm saying? That shit just puts me in a good place of mind for sure. Because it's like it's nice to see that something that's been, you know, in the making for so long in the vault. You know, to see it like received.
It's like you finally let it free.
Right. And to see like people be like, yeah, it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're making music, that shit does not make sense all the way through. You know what I'm saying? There's
No,
like
not at all.
there's
hell
critical points in the process where it's like, I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro.
A lot of the times it's walking in the dark. You know what I mean? Like, but you
Right.
still gotta walk somewhere.
Right, exactly. And it's like, again, once we put those puzzle pieces together, you know, it was really cool to see it just be like complete and to see what that really meant. But it's like, as for like the next step, really, I'm just trying to continue to work on more music. You know what I'm saying? There's some more videos that I'm planning to
course.
put out for it. You know, now that I really feel like
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you were planning on dropping another single off of it.
probably
Are-
not
are we
like a
dropping
single
one this
per
week?
se.
Yeah, that'd
Or
be
is
dope.
that happening?
Yeah, we're probably gonna drop. Yeah, we dropped that. Yeah.
Let's go.
Like I just uploaded that before I came. So yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so you know, video for Cling to Me it's gonna drop.
You just dropped the vid for Plenty More, right?
Yes, yeah. So
And where can the people see that?
on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Both of
Studio
them on
Suzuki,
YouTube. Gonna be on
YouTube.
YouTube. Studio Suzuki.
We're gonna have the links. We're gonna have the links below and shit
right,
for the listeners. Make
right,
sure to check that out when you guys get the time.
right.
No doubt.
Yeah, no, I'm
The Linktree will come in
I'm
clutch.
excited for the Cling to Me video. You know what I'm saying? Like that's one of the more found footage ones. I really like how that one came
Word
out.
up.
You know, YouTube kind of you know was fucking with the kid though, because they didn't want me to put some of that footage up there. So I'm probably gonna drop like the original version of the video. That's not edited down for YouTube somewhere as well.
Straight to DVD.
Right? You know, catch it on Vimeo or something. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Daily Motion.
That's what
Daily
I'm saying
Motion.
for the people who care. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, player.
Nice.
Limited
Okay,
edition,
player, got it.
hand numbered 25 4K Ultra HD Blu-rays.
Hey, nah, you ain't lie. But
I heard they gonna have that shit in 9K resolution.
shit.
9K
Nah,
Blu-rays. Fuck
the
it.
space on my computer got something else to say about that.
Yeah, that's real.
Right? Nah.
You gotta worry about that after.
That's so real.
Right.
I think the little video, the little bullshit ass video I shot for when y'all were doing Octane, bro. I think that was like, it was 15 minutes long. I think that shit was like 4 gigabytes.
Yeah.
That shit is like
Bro had a
critical.
DS game on
I
his
was
shit.
I was stupid. I was shooting 4K 60 frames per
Oh
second,
man.
and I couldn't even shoot in the first place.
Alright, there.
Bro shooting a film at the
Yeah.
show.
Nah,
was making a
I'm not
movie.
that cool.
Alright. He said yesterday was a movie, and we filmed it, so I could
Nah,
prove
on the
it.
real though, like that's something that I've talked. My fault.
Nah, you go.
I was saying like that's something that me and Sal talked about from time to time. Like when we start like I want to document like specifically like my journey with music and shit like that. So I want to start recording a lot of shit. So I gotta figure that
That's
out.
word. I'd love to fucking see it.
Like shows, studio sessions and shit.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Shit like that.
right. You know, all of us, are really documentarians at this point, just by virtue of like how the internet works. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you didn't take
Yeah.
a picture, you didn't film it, that shit didn't happen. So,
Yeah.
like
Right.
the more you're filming, the better.
Smash that like button.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Like and subscribe. Oh man.
Fight the divide.
Right.
But so is there any live shows planned anytime soon?
Well, I mean, Jack, what's the next live show coming up? You know what I'm saying?
Well, we're doing a weekender, June 14th and June 15th, Super Kaiser weekend that we're going to be hitting up Interzone in South Jersey, and then we're going to be playing the next Unity Fest at Purgatory in Brooklyn the following day.
Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Y'all heard
Oh
it here
yeah, I was
first.
gonna ask about that. I was gonna ask what month that they were gonna do that.
Yeah, at the
Yes,
moment, I think that's all we have on the books, but, gigs could come.
That's what I'm saying. Honestly,
Yeah, I heard it
I be
here first.
walking into shows by accident sometimes too. You know what I'm saying? Like I just show up at the open mic. You know what I'm
Bro,
saying?
a show magnet.
You know what I'm saying? And my open mic is a show. You know what I'm saying? Like straight
Yeah.
up.
Of course.
So you never know.
Yeah, the live energy is different, bro. I can't wait to see the show again live. You feel me? Because it was dope being on stage, but I feel like that's one of those things I really rather just watch it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, cause it's really something
Yeah.
to behold. So yeah, if y'all around that time June, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make sure to show some love,
Absolutely.
Jers.
Sure.
Yeah.
But
Jersey, New York.
anything else?
No doubt.
Oh yeah,
If
New
y'all are
York
in
too.
the area.
But is there anything else y'all had in mind to discuss?
Oh man.
Not really, no. I might get some food, but like Kaiser said,
This nigga said, let me get some food on this.
Yeah, I'm hungry as shit. I'm not even gonna hold you.
Nah. I mean, unless y'all got some pressing questions on a specific song, not really. You know what I'm saying? Cause you know what I'm saying. Like, don't be surprised. I got the secrets in the back pocket. You know what I'm saying?
I think I pretty much touched all the parts that I had at the moment.
You've exhausted your current list at this current moment in time.
Right,
True.
right.
Precisely.
Oh, let me shout out Void. You know, while I'm at it, cause he over there
Yeah.
Yeah.
plenty
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
more.
You know what I'm saying?
That's another one. That's a banger right there.
I ain't spoken to
Another
him in a
one.
minute.
Right. Right. Hope there's more like it in the future for sure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Facts.
But so,
Shout out
that's
to
something to
Void,
say.
man.
It was surprising to me, there's a lot of braggadocious attitude, but like you let someone else have the last verse on your own album, like that's big.
Yeah. Yeah, he got that. I'm like, yeah, he got that. You know what I'm saying? Like the way I saw the
funny.
math and the science. You know what I'm saying? My verse did its thing, and it's like I was kind of already just carrying. You know, my man Super Jack on the backup for real. You know what I'm saying? Like he got shotgun, but like, I was driving the whole time, my G. I was like, yeah, no, Void can, yeah, he can, yeah. I'm like, yeah.
Evolved in God's likeness, Fright Fest.
Yeah, dude, he's a titan. Yeah, he got that. He can, yeah, he definitely can have that for sure.
That's one of those songs, bro. It's like, if you know, you know. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that's a
it's-
moment.
It's existed in many iterations. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like,
Right. There's
Classic. That's a timeless song.
There's so many versions of that song. You know what I'm saying? Even the version that made the album is, you know, really a compilation of 2 songs, because that first song, you know, that first part of the song, Another Inspector beat, you know, I just kind of sandwiched that together like sort of last minute. You know, that was just for the school project, really. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, making bangers
Word.
for school projects.
That's what I'm
bro.
saying. Y'all don't know nothing
Yeah, no,
about
he-
this.
That's-
Kaiser's
That's
built
like how you
different.
started
Levels to the
too.
shit.
Like that's like one of the first shits you ever did. Like
Levels to the
rap wise,
shit.
like it was for a school
Right,
project.
right. Y'all don't know nothing about this for real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Shit,
it's
right.
crazy.
Man, bro. But
Word.
shit, yeah. I think I pretty much got off all the questions I had off top.
No doubt.
Never did anything you else wanted to get off real quick.
Nah, I think you kind of like took all the words out of my mouth, really, like with all the shit you were
Yeah.
saying, because like I pretty much see shit
Word,
the
word.
exact same way as you. The only thing that I didn't get a chance to say was like, yo, Jack, I don't know if you like took some pointers from me with the rhythms and blues sequencing and how the shit ebbed and flowed, but like you kind of like did beyond nailing it on the head, bro. Like with the sequencing and shit.
It was just kind of like Kaiser and I going back and forth on like what should go where, and then like when something didn't quite work in my opinion, it was like either cutting it to like the umpteenth second of when the beat drops, or like adding in
Right.
like a sound, just
Right.
Yeah.
A lot.
It's the little thing.
I'll say a lot of that was, you know, coincidental, you know, but I personally was thinking about it because I knew I was like, well, if we doing the sequencing, this shit gotta be on par with, you know, Nev and Lex rhythm and blues. I was thinking that in the back of my head. I wasn't necessarily like, yo, let's copy this transition or nothing like that. But I was definitely like, yo, this gotta be on the same level for real. Cause
Nah, word.
Right.
I appreciate that, bro. That means a lot coming from y'all, man. Cause shit, bro, I don't know. It's an honor to even have somebody making some shit like this, thinking about, you know, what the fuck we doing. So, you know what I mean? That shit's definitely an honor, bro, and I really appreciate it.
yeah,
That shit, like I said, I keep saying it. After this episode, before this episode, great project. I'm really proud of y'all. This is really something to be proud of.
Word.
Shit, bro. Yeah,
More to
y'all-
come
y'all
as
did
well.
the fucking thing on
Yeah.
that shit, bro. Shout out to Cosme and Super Jack as well. Yeah, if y'all didn't hear it already, yours truly, Kaiser Unique, with
Oh, yeah.
Face Dog, Spectre K, Void, Super Jack. Go get that shit.
And
Cuts by
NevEd.
NevEd.
And never on the
Never on
cuts,
the
cuts,
turntable.
cuts.
Right.
Exactly, man. Y'all go get that if y'all ain't hear
Super
it already.
turntables.
30 minutes, 11
turntables.
tracks. It's a great listen.
Very digestible.
You know what I'm saying?
Part of
To the
this
point.
complete breakfast.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Complete breakfast. You know what I'm
Breakfast of
saying?
Champions.
Most supported meal of the day.
That's the bag fuel right there.
This is definitely gonna be a highlight for your career. You know what I mean? I can't.
A
I
modern
can't,
classic.
I can't really foresee or really tell you what's in your future except for greatness. You know what I mean? But if you keep moving at this pace, bro, you already know. Like this shit is yours already, bro. It's just gonna be even more yours.
Word, yours
To put
truly.
it in
Yeah.
ignorant
I'm
layman's
trying to
terms,
drop.
feel me?
I'm trying to drop some singles with both of these gentlemen soon.
Oh yeah. Me and Nev are cooking
Jack's
something.
probably gonna drop some shit
Right.
that I
Me
did.
and Nev are
Y'all
cooking
cooking.
something.
Y'all cooking.
Y'all already here first.
Y'all cooking.
Yeah.
It didn't make it on the next Super
He asked me to
Jack
take.
record,
He
but
asked me to take all my strings off. That's okay, but it's
the
all
beat
good.
sounded better raw,
No.
man. I don't know what to tell you. It was like it was a raw beat.
I'm like, bro, but like the way your vocals like
man,
went up, like I'm like, yo, this needs more than just
Man
the loop.
said,
bro.
I'll never apologize for rawness.
Right.
I mean, cause I usually don't dip into the bag that I'm dipping into on this one. So I really wanted to like, I maybe I went a little too crazy. I don't
It's
know.
a pretty unique flavor for both of us. Like it was so unique that it didn't quite fit on the record, but like I can't just have it sit in the vault forever. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's
Yeah.
respect.
About to
sure.
change-
That's respect.
About to change the past, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Word.
But yo, appreciate you guys for your time. Thank you for this project. I appreciate it.
No
I know
doubt.
the listeners will appreciate
No
this
doubt.
shit. Yeah, go get
They
that.
better, goddamn it.
Yours
I'm playing.
truly, Kaiser Unique. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Catch y'all later. Spin with the podcast.
Yo, A1 episode gonna be coming out real soon. I think we're gonna record it next week.
Shout out A1, man. Y'all go see
Shout
that
out.
song. But shout out
Shout out Ground Zero,
NevEd. You know what I'm saying?
Fenrir, and all them.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Until next time.
Peace.
Peace.